Thank you, Parkland College and Parkland College graduates. It is an honor to be here offering this invocation. Graduates, congratulations. What a 1 or 2 years this has been. You have been through so much, as have all of us, but trying to study in the middle of a pandemic, in a world full of civil unrest and violence, with lingering fears, and for most of us, economic strain. And yet you have done it. Congratulations, we are here to celebrate you this day. And to begin, I offer the words of Howard Thurman, civil rights leader. Open unto us light for our darkness. Open unto us courage for our fear. Open unto us hope for our despair. Open unto us peace for our turmoil. Open unto us joy for our sorrow. Open unto us strength for our weakness. Open unto us wisdom for our confusion. Open unto us forgiveness for our sins. Open unto us love for our hates. Open unto us thyself for ourselves. Lord God, open unto us. Amen.
Dr. Ramage, Parkland College Trustees, Administration, Faculty, Staff, distinguished guests, my fellow graduating class of 2021, welcome to the graduating ceremony of 2021. This is surely not what we had in mind when we dreamt about graduation. I have this vivid memory of sitting with my friends in 2019, looking at those decked out in gowns and caps, new graduates, and us with a new vision, seeing ourselves doing the same thing in a few years' time. It is funny how plans work or don't work sometimes, isn't it? A year later, and instead of that vision, we find ourselves facing a world and situation that none of us expected. But let me remind you that no matter the challenges that have come our ways, for us, the graduating class of 2021, this accomplishment is ours and it is real. It is the dream come to life, even if not in the way we envisioned. In my younger days, I can remember my grandparents always saying, we are living in some interesting times. Right here and now, their words certainly ring true. We too are living in interesting times, which is at once new and yet familiar. In times past, the world have been plagued with smallpox, yellow fever, SARS, swine flu, Ebola, and more. In 2020, we were hit with the COVID-19 global pandemic. As some have highlighted, this is a war that requires global effort. At the time of drafting this address, we would have recorded over 130 million confirmed cases, and sadly, almost 3 million people died globally. Locally, the Illinois Department of Public Health is reporting over 1.2 million confirmed cases and just over 21,000 deaths, all of which account for the very fact that our graduation is virtual. This stark reality is not the vision we imagined in 2019, but it is what we must now navigate. Still, we did not gather in our spaces today to focus on how this pandemic has distorted our lives. Today, as I speak to you, I instead wish to speak of change, of things that come, things that go, and things we are yet to encounter or even dream of seeing. All of the difficult moments in our lives have led us to where we are today. We struggled through and passed challenging courses, without which no degree could have been earned. We embraced virtual spaces even more. Uploading assignments using Cobra Dropbox became a routine. But our personal challenges, our gains, and our mountain have been conquered, and now we are here, the graduating class of 2021. The changes forced upon us by the pandemic should be seen as no more different than a new mountain to scale, a new giant to defeat. In my personal life, I have faced with challenges that have sometimes seemed insurmountable. In those times, I turned to my favorite book, the Bible. One of my favorite verses is Psalm 28, verse 7. The Lord is my strength and my shield. My heart trusts in him, and I am helped. My heart leaped for joy, and I will sing thanks to him in songs. Of course, the good book is not the only source of inspiration. It comes from the most unlikely places. Arnold Schwarzenegger once said, strength does not come from winning. Your struggle develops your strengths. When you go through hardships and decided not to surrender, that is strength. I also often reflect on a phrase used by many of our tutors, leaders of the future, and pondered on the true meaning of this weighted label that drives us forward. For many, we may just see our degrees as a piece of paper certifying that we passed tests and might be eligible for future jobs. However, stop to consider what else we may have learned in our journey here at Parkland College. What are the skills and accomplishments that we discover lying dormant within ourselves, just waiting to be open to explored? I have seen budding poets, classmates who would not speak a word at the beginning, leading presentations. Throughout this journey, our time management skills have been tested. The many group projects have exposed us to working with people from different backgrounds and cultures. Engaging lecturers has forced us to open our minds to things we may not possibly consider. In doing it all, we have leaned on each other and demonstrate the strength and tenacity needed to help others through difficult times. This, my friends, is the hallmark of true leadership, the recognition that together we can all achieve more. In our current global climate, we have certainly seen how the actions of a few, or even the action of one, can affect the nation or the world. As we continuously blossom in the leaders that we are becoming, may we all consider our action affect others. This reminds me of something my grandmother always says. All that we are will ever be, we are becoming right now. So every thought, every deed, every action, let us work with intent. May we charge our lives with integrity. Recently, I witnessed great adaptability and resilience from you, my fellow graduates, in adjusting to the changes. The general love and support poured out from students in the community into the laps of others has showed me that students not only care for their own success. It may seem trivial to some, but I smiled at every post I saw on social media of students at last year's graduation, adapting to the changes brought about by the global pandemic. Even in the face of adversity, we smiled. Even in the face of trial, we have achieved great success. Your degree is so much more than a piece of paper, especially for us, the class of 2021. This degree stands as a testament in the thick of the storm. We can push through, we can accomplish, we can achieve milestone. You should know though that this is not the end. And as cliche as it sounds, it's merely the beginning of a new chapter. A change of plan doesn't mean a change of goals, but instead a change of our approach in accomplishing these goals. This quote actually derived from a caption on a student Instagram post. A student like you and me who had their plans suddenly derailed. In the human experience, change is constant. It is inevitable. It is how you view these changes and react to them that impact your future. As you forge ahead into the world of uncertainty, a world of complexity, a world of horizon, a world of hope, may we never forget how far we have come. May we never forget the challenges, the hurdles, the difficulties that we thought we would never able to cross. Never forget you, yes, you did this in a pandemic. My wish for all of us is that we adapt to the changes, knowing now that whatever comes our way, with God, all things are possible. My fellow graduates, when next we are facing a difficult obstacle that seems immovable, that fight against our will and our strength, I pray that in those times we are able to look back and see many of these mountains we have faced before. Never doubt that you can do it once again. As I conclude, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the chair of the Parkland College Board of Trustees, Mrs. Bianca Green. Bianca Green is the General Counsel for the State University's Retirement System of Illinois, where she is responsible for providing legal advice and guidance for administration of a $19 billion public pension fund. Prior to accepting this position, Bianca served as the president of the Illinois Mediation Services, Inc., a mediation company she founded in response to the growing need for independent mediation services in Illinois. The decision to start this company came after 16 years in private practice, where she worked as a civil litigation partner with the Champaign, Illinois law firm Thomas, Meyer and Awe. In addition to serving as a member of the Parkland College Board of Trustees since 2015, she has also served as a board member for the Cunningham Children's Home, CASA, Executive Club of Champaign County, and the Champaign County Bar Association. Bianca and her husband Jim Green reside in Champaign, Illinois, with their daughters Stella and Maris. Thank you.
As chair of the Parkland Board of Trustees, it is my honor and privilege to send greetings and congratulations to you and your families on behalf of the entire board. We are thrilled to be celebrating your accomplishments with you today. As we continue to move through these challenging times, we recognize and are truly impressed by the perseverance each and every one of you has demonstrated in reaching this milestone today. You set your goals, you kept your eye on the prize, and here you are. So to the class of 2021, we say, well done. You secured a strong foundation at Parkland College that will support you in all of your future endeavors, and the sky's the limit. We can't wait to see what you accomplish next, and your Parkland family will be cheering you on every step of the way. Congratulations.
My name is Jayden Sortor. I am the newly elected student trustee, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce the president of Parkland College, Dr. Tom Ramage. Tom Ramage joined Parkland College in July of 1998 as chair of the newly created Distance and Virtual Learning Department, responsible for developing and administrating Parkland's online course delivery systems and policy. In June 2007, Tom was named intern president of Parkland College and served until his appointment as Parkland's 5th president in July 2008. He is Chief Executive Officer of Parkland College and is responsible to the Board of Trustees of Community College District 505 to implement the philosophy, goals, and policy of Parkland College, overseeing nearly 732 employees. Tom received a master's degree in education and human development with a specialization in educational technology leadership from the George Washington University in 1998 and a doctorate in education with a specialization in instructional technology and distance education from Nova Southwestern University. His research focused on cost efficiency and return on investment of online programs. Tom is married to Michelle, superintendent of Rantoul School District. They have a son, Colin, and a daughter-in-law, Megan.
Congratulations, first to our graduates this evening, and to the family and friends that have gathered with you to celebrate. To our graduates, my message to each of you is quite simple. and something that I'm sure each of you know well, that good decisions have lasting consequences. Coming to Parkland College was an excellent decision. You've studied with some of the finest faculty in the nation, focused on one thing, the art and science of teaching. You have worked with staff that from the very moment you've stepped foot on campus, right up to this very moment, have dedicated themselves to ensure your success in every way possible. You've been constantly reminded about how important it is to persevere and to follow through, and that becoming an educated person is an enormous accomplishment. And in this process, this journey, all of you, as evidenced by the fact that you're here in this room tonight, realized very quickly that success requires a similar commitment. You were required to apply yourself to the daunting task of using your mind, which seriously is a much harder challenge than most people realize. And by doing so, you've harnessed the ultimate value of college, a realization that you can use your mind to make your own arguments and even your own contributions to knowledge. So let me be the first among many to tell you how proud we are of you and your accomplishments. Well done. I have no doubts that tomorrow you will each continue to make thoughtful decisions, to persevere, and to enjoy the sense of satisfaction that follows. Tonight, it's all about you. Tonight, you'll be joining hundreds of thousands of Parkland College graduates since our very first commencement ceremony in 1968. But tomorrow, your first day as a graduate of Parkland College begins. So do great things. It is now my pleasure to introduce our commencement speaker. Mazdack Rassi is the co-founder and creative director of Milk and the co-founder of Milk Makeup. In his time as co-founder of Milk, Rassi has built the bicoastal business into a culturally conscious company with creative expression at the helm. Rassi's leadership has transformed Milk from a services company into the home of emerging artists in New York and Los Angeles alike. With an understanding of fashion, music, photography, media, and film industries, Rassi drives all business operations for Milk and has become a creative partner to global visionaries, designers, and brands throughout the last 2 decades. As a company that thrives in its community, Milk serves as a connector between the established and the emerging. Rassi has steered the company through years of productions, gallery openings, fashion weeks, events, and cultural happenings. In 2016, he worked with his team to launch a consumer product made for Milk's community, Milk Makeup. In addition to managing Milk, Rassi is an active board member of Burton, Autism Tomorrow, Parsons School of Design, and the New York City Ballet. Welcome, Mazdack Rassi.
Congratulations to the Parkland class of 2021. I'm beyond honored to speak to all of you and share the day with you. I am in complete awe of this graduating class because you have been able to survive, achieve, and succeed in 2020. And here you are in 2021 as graduates. This year, you are graduating into a time of optimism. As the world is slowly opening back up, it is opening up opportunities, and they are yours for the taking. The world is ready to hear what you have to say. It is ready to see what you will create and make. It is time for you now to share your vision with this new world. I would love to share a time in my life when I was at a similar point, a period of uncertainty where I had to share my ideas and vision with the world, a time where I had to lean on my own optimism. Unlike many of you, I wasn't able to complete my degree. Yes, I am a college dropout. In the middle of my college years, I made a decision and I called a family meeting. I did that a lot. I proceeded to tell my parents I had great news. I had learned everything I could in school and I was dropping out and moving to New York City. As you can imagine, they didn't take that news very well. You see, when your parents are immigrants like mine, you're expected to be a doctor, an engineer, or a lawyer. The concept of dropping out was not in their vocabulary. Both my parents were professors. As you can imagine, they took my announcement very hard. My dad didn't talk to me, I think, for a few years. My mother was more sympathetic. She loaned me $500 on her credit card and got me to New York City. I slept on the couch of my only friend in Brooklyn and ate ramen noodles for weeks on end. I know it sounds horrible, but I actually loved it because I knew I would find my calling in New York City. One of my many jobs in New York was renting apartments. That's where I met my future partners. They had just purchased a dilapidated building in the meatpacking district. It was an old warehouse. I had a vision for what this warehouse could be, a fashion photography studio. At the time, most studios were empty white boxes. My vision was to create the first luxury photography studio. I believed that creatives would respond to an architecturally beautiful space with high-end services, like a great hotel. There were just 3 problems. 1, I knew nothing about photography. 2, I knew nothing about the concept of luxury. You have to remember, I was eating ramen noodles every day. And 3, I had no knowledge of how to put together a business plan. Remember, this was pre-Google. But one thing I had was optimism. I pitched my idea for Milk Studios to my now partners, and to my surprise, they went for it. I somehow convinced them. They told me to quit all my jobs, put everything I had into this new business. And I did, and I've never looked back since. We opened Milk Studios in 1996, and it quickly became a creative playground with integrity and purpose. Today, Milk Studios operates on both coasts. We have over 7 divisions, including a global makeup brand that sells in over 23 countries around the world. Milk became a mecca for the next generation of creatives, and all of this was beyond my wildest dreams. One of the things I always say is companies don't create great ideas. People do. People just like you. People who lean on their optimism and their beliefs. I am humbled by the people I get to work with every day. I never imagined as a kid growing up in Champaign that I would be working with some of the greatest creatives in the world. I say all this to you because you're not always going to know how something can get done, but sometimes you're just going to have to try. You might be downright scared of even trying, but you have to push through. If you can just believe in yourself, if you can put all of your faith into the silver lining, doors will open for you. Optimism opens doors. Class of 2021, as you go back into this new world, you are not going back to your old ways. With a renewed sense of optimism, hope, and belief that we are creating a better, more inclusive future, a future that all of you will be shaping. Once again, thank you for having me, Old Champagne Kid. Congratulations, Class of 2021.
Good evening. I'm Pamela Lau, Executive Vice President at Parkland College. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Professor John Moore as our faculty speaker for commencement this year. In August 2020, John Moore retired after more than 40 years as a faculty member in biology at Parkland. Through these 4 decades, John inspired hundreds of students through his spirited enthusiasm about his subject matter and tireless commitment to helping students learn. Before we hear what he has to say to our graduates, here are some interesting facts from his bio. John Moore was born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. After graduating high school in 1970, he moved to Grand Rapids to attend Grand Valley State College, now Grand Valley University, where he received his bachelor's degree in biology, cum laude, in 1974. During his senior year at Grand Valley, he began doing forensic analysis for the Grand Rapids Police Department Crime Lab. From 1974 to 1976, he attended Southern Illinois University at Carbondale while obtaining his master's in physiology. And then he went on to start a doctoral program in physiology at the University of Illinois. However, in the 1978-79 academic year, he withdrew from that PhD program in order to take a full-time teaching position as a visiting lecturer in anatomy at the UIUC School of Basic Medical Sciences. At the same time, he was hired part-time to teach anatomy and physiology courses in the evening at Parkland College. And then in 1980, he received a full-time tenure-track teaching position at Parkland College, teaching predominantly anatomy, physiology, and pathophysiology. Over the years, John attended many workshops and short courses around the country relating to forensic osteology. This was prior to colleges and universities offering degrees in forensics. He eventually accumulated enough expertise and exposure in the field to begin offering national workshops, as well as consulting with various police departments and entities throughout Illinois. Last year, due predominantly to the COVID-19 pandemic, John reluctantly retired from Parkland after many years of very enjoyable teaching and service to the college and community.
Hello, my name is John Moore. The administrative types here at the college have asked me to take a few minutes and pass along a few pearls of wisdom that I think might be of use to our graduates. And for what it is worth, I do mean just a few minutes. Before I start, however, let me simply say congratulations to those going through commencement today. And of similar importance, congratulations to all who supported and in some cases tolerated those who are graduating. And before I start dispensing these alleged pearls of wisdom, I guess I should introduce myself to those who have not been in any of my classes. Stated another way, why is this guy standing up here professing to know what will or won't help those of you who are graduating? Well, until August of 2020, and for the previous 40 plus years, I was a professor in the Natural Sciences Department here at Parkland College. During that time, I taught anatomy and physiology, pathophysiology, head and neck anatomy, surgical anatomy, cross-sectional anatomy, and forensics. Oh, and for several years, I taught both beginning and advanced karate for what used to be the PE department. A rough estimate is that I've taught somewhere on the high side of 8,000 students in my tenure here at Parkland. And while here, I guess I should mention my only other career type job, and that would be teaching anatomy at the School of Basic Medical Sciences across town at that other institution of higher education, the University of Illinois. I assume most of you have heard of it. As it turns out, I have something in common with some who are watching this today. Specifically, we are leaving Parkland College. I have retired, which by the way is one of the scariest events you will ever go through, especially if you've been at only one wonderful job for over 4 decades. On the other hand, those of you graduating and going through commencement are leaving to either go on to other institutions for additional education, or you are going out to another scary place, that place they call the working world. And that is not to say that many of you haven't been working, and working hard, as you spent your time here at Parkland. So, on to those pearls of wisdom that I'm supposed to pass along to make your transition more tolerable. And to keep this short, I'll restrict things to just 3 or 4 pearls. Pearl number 1. Let me start with a quote from the American author and screenwriter, Ray Bradbury. Love what you do and do what you love. Don't listen to anyone else who tells you not to do it. You do what you want, what you love. Imagination should be the center of your life. There are reasons why this is placed at the number 1 slot. I cannot begin to tell you how important this can be. I absolutely loved teaching, and because of that, going to Parkland every weekday, and many weekend days, was just like going to my other home. I wish you luck in finding the same happiness in your career that I found in teaching. Unless you focus too much on finding that perfect job, do realize that you may not, and probably will not, attain such a position with your first job out of college. For that matter, it may take several jobs to even come close. My wife worked for nearly 20 years before she came to grips with the fact that she had always wanted to be a veterinarian. So, at the tender age of 40, she entered vet school and graduated 4 years later. She was a much happier person from that point on. Pearl number 2. Well, actually, it is just an observation. And that observation is simply that sometimes you get lucky. While my first job wasn't my perfect job, my second job, Parkland College, was. That my second job was in my town and was obtained only after 1 year at my first job was pure and simple luck. Yes, sometimes you get lucky. I could not have asked for a more wonderful place to teach. Pearl number 3. Learn as much as you can about your field of expertise. Get good at something and stay good at it as you strive to stay current. If you can attempt to be the most knowledgeable person in the room and do so without making everyone else in the room think that you are an egotistical bag of hot air, well, that will help you when it comes to your next job application, as well as advancement in any job you stay at for an extended period of time. And finally, while not a true pearl of wisdom, do let me quickly mention the major professional mistake I made in my career. One, by the way, which I do not think will apply to most of you. So here it is. Stay current with all of the support technology that is associated with the various aspects of your field of specialization. What you thought would only be an ancillary or minor technique or technology might end up becoming a primary entity when you least expect it. Be ready and able to do the techniques or run the technology. In my case, for years, I avoided online-related tech like it was the plague. I was successful at that avoidance technique until COVID hit. And the vast majority of our courses went, you guessed it, online. Fortunately for me, I had more than enough years in the state retirement system to simply bail out. However, and this is a huge however, I was not planning on retiring for at least another 5 years, maybe more. Stated another way, my inability to maintain a background that would have allowed me to transition to online education led to a variant of forced retirement that I didn't see coming. So I repeat, stay current with all support technology that is associated with your field of specialization. Before I sign off, please allow me to pass along a few thank yous. First, my thanks go out to Parkland College as an entity for all of the support they have given me and all of the other faculty at the college. Second, a huge thank you to all of the faculty and staff at Parkland, especially in the Natural Sciences Department. When people talk about benefits at a job, they're usually referring to things like insurance, vacation days, and retirement plans. In my opinion, while those factors are certainly important, one of the most important benefits of working at Parkland has been the friends I have made over all of those years. Oh, and a special shout out to Susie and Vicky, two of the most wonderful and tolerant office mates I could ever have hoped for. And finally, a gigantic thank you to those 8,000 plus students that I've had the pleasure and the honor to know and teach. You may not be aware of this, but teachers can and do learn from their students, sometimes more than you might ever imagine. So once again, congratulations. Stay safe and stay sane in the many changes we are looking at in the years to come.
Dr. Paul E. Kunkel, the last of the pioneers, what people call the fast diminishing circle of the earliest Parkland College staff members. Paul has said that he was lucky to be part of those early years. Parkland is lucky to have benefited from his outstanding service to the college. A native of Kansas, Dr. Kunkel graduated high school in North Dakota and attended a private college in Idaho, majoring in philosophy and minoring in English literature. He completed a graduate degree in religious studies and later accepted a role as director of admissions and assistant registrar for his undergrad alma mater. After 5.5 years, he was selected to receive a National Defense Education Act grant, which he used to complete his master's degree in education and his doctorate in educational administration. In 1963, Dr. Kunkel began working at Southern Illinois University Edwardsville, which at that point had a campus but no permanent buildings. After managing the school's Office for Institutional Research and assisting the Vice President for Business Affairs, he left SIUE in 1968 for a brief stint in Iowa City with American College Testing. In 1971, Parkland College President William M. Starkle asked Paul to join Parkland's administrative staff. Dr. Kunkel moved to Champaign-Urbana in 1971 and served as Director of Development, a role that soon included the establishment of the Parkland College Foundation. He was the foundation's first director. Thanks to Paul's direction, the foundation strengthened Parkland College's relationship with the community and created a level of support that continues to thrive today. We are so thankful for that. Dr. Kunkel had many titles, assignments, and community associations while at Parkland. He was an official emeritus member of the Association for Institutional Research and of Phi Delta Kappa, an international public education support organization. He was also an active member of the Illinois Community College Board Research Advisory Council and of the Lions Club, where he will soon celebrate 50 years of membership. Dr. Kunkel retired from Parkland in 1994. While he may no longer work at Parkland, his legacy continues with many of the projects he contributed to during his tenure, including drafting the format for upgrading the college catalog and course listings, overseeing preparation of the first affirmative action statement, planning the format and function of the Flag Lounge and Gallery Lounge, acting as unofficial curator for the distributed collection of art pieces around campus, and fighting to save the area overlooking the outdoor fountain as a designated spot for the Parkland College Gallery, now known as the Gertz Gallery at Parkland College. We have recommended to the Board of Trustees, and they have approved the conferral of Honorary Associate in Arts degree to Dr. Paul E. Kunkel. Congratulations, Paul.
Graduates, tonight is your night. We celebrate with you the reaching of an important academic milestone. But before we get to the most important part of this evening for you, it is most appropriate that we take a moment to recognize and salute all the faculty who have helped you get here. It is my special honor to recognize two of our very finest faculty tonight. Parkland's selection for the Parkland Teaching Excellence Award from the Division of Health Professions, Associate Professor of Nursing, Deb Bucher. Parkland's nominee for the Illinois Community College Trustees Association Outstanding Part-Time Faculty Award, also from the Division of Health Professions, Instructor Nancy Roth. We also want to honor 4 students who have won special recognition for academic excellence and achievements. 3 students have been named as members of the All-Illinois Academic Team. They are Monica Eccles, Matthew Harper, Sean McCloskey. And 1 student has been selected as a 2019 Coca-Cola Leaders of Promise Scholar. That individual is Grace Shirley. President Ramage, upon the recommendation of the faculty and in their behalf, I present to you the candidates for degrees and certificates of the class of 2021.
On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I accept the candidates for certificates and degrees.
Sama Abdel Jabba, Lane Acree, Cassandra Adams, Nia Adams Neal, Sabeli Aguia, Julian Akinsanya, Parker Ellen, Alexia Elvis, Sullivan Michael Always, Josie Amerio, Tatiana Ammons, James Anderson, Dalton Andre, Adam Andrews Jr., Aisha Anwar, Rachel Arnold, Timothy Arp, Kendall Arsenault, Itarobong Asanga, Bukaria Asani, Justin Atkinson, Sung Hoon Beck, Brittany Bailey, Wyatt Bailey, Erica Baker, Roxanne Burlag, Carrie Bach, Brittany Barnhill, Telmoon Battle, Emma Baud, Madeline Bauer, Jackie Bautista, Nora Beachy, Taylor Bean, Kyle Beatty, Georgette Baquette, Samuel Beasley, Leah Bell, Austin Beal, Kevin Bishop II, Colton Bitton, Roy Blackburn, Kendra Baumer, Trevor Boland, Ariana Booker, Marsha Borden, Anais Bouchard, Haley Boyd, Patricia Bradford, Gregory Brannon, Hannah Brennan, Brianna Brocate, Darren Brown, Jonte Brown, Joni Brown, Sierra Bryan, Rachel P. Buckler, Jordan Burge, Amy Jo Begin, Abigail Carmine Burnett, Lucas Burnett, Leah Burns, Guilherme Busato, Allison Butler, Renee Cadman, Kira Carlisle, Isabel Carmona, Sangsavang Carr, Ross Carranza, Madeline Catline, Tristan Kazel, Dylan Chandler Chambers, Madison Cheney, Abigail Charleston, Jennifer Chatterton, Nicole Cheatham, Nathan Chevalier, Hei-Jung Cho, Haley Christensen, Ursula Christian, Curtis Chung, Stella Clampett, Donna Clark, Sarah Clark, Shannon Clemens, Lane Coffey, Nicholas Demarion Cole, Samaya Coley, Nicholas Compton, Taylor Conkling, Catherine Conley, Jody Marie Corter, Kayla Craig, Nicole Krim, Peyton Crow, David Cummins, Christine Danielson, Samaj Danley II, Caitlin Jane Davis, Emily Davison, Megan Dawson, Alyssa Day, Kelsey Lynn DeFries, Jared Denny,
Amy Devine, Matthew DeVore, Alyssa DeWeese, Sarah Dahm, William Dixon, Sarah Doherty, Brennan Dolwick, Michelle Dong, Deontay Douglas, LaShonda Douglas, Alec Downs, Dylan Drew, Felipe Duarte, Marcus Dulakis, Kate Eaves, Alexandra Edwards, Ryan Emmerd, Emery Erickson, Charlie Erler, Ketsia Esekinyoi, Caleb Eastep, Jessica Evans, Joey Ewald, Derek Fairfield, Ryan Farmer, Nicholas Fazzari, Brian Fair, Michelle Fair, Brenna Ferguson, Mark Fernando, Bailey Ferraro, Maria Julia Figueredo, Anthony Fisher, Thomas Fitch, Catherine Foltz, Hannah Foran, Tanisha Foster, Hannah Frederick, Kia Fries, Adam Frericks, Sandy Fuentes, Dejanay Dashiera Fulton, Sydney Gadberry, Paulina Garcia, Trisha Gasper, Connor Gibson, Jordan Geese, Ryan Giffel, Haley Ginger, Neoshi Gibson, Cooper Goebel, America Gonzalez, Madison Goodling, Mariah Gore, Alexis Grady Coburn, Valina Green, Tyler Grigalis, Michelle Gudgel, Justine Gums, Jamie Gunther, Bailey Haddon, Harrison Hall, Isaiah Hammerberg, Linda Handy, Amanda Harris, Jaslyn Ivory Harris, Rachel Harris, Stephen Harris, Emily Hawkins, Allison Hevelin, Miranda Heck, Hannah Hine, Brittany Helfrich, Pamela Henricks, Byron Hibbs, Marcus Higgins, Brenna Hill, Charles Hodges, Ryan Hoffman, Sydney Holmes, Courtney Howard, Kai Lynn Hoyt, Rachel Ipock, Valentina Ipock, Nicole Eisenhart, Amina Jackson, Felicia Jackson, Ryden Jolly, Selena Janowski, Dylan Jansen, Jenny Jarbo, Ariana Jeffries, Melissa Jensen, Tyler Jeswin, Jennifer Jocelyn, Alexander Jokush, Aaron Johnson, Elizabeth Johnson, Katie Johnson, Kendall Johnson, Justice Johnstone, Darlene Jones, David Jones Jr., Maria Jesus Jorquera,
Morgan Cabe, Dawson Kaiser, Dakota Carr, Allison Kelly, Gowan Kelly, Cassandra Kelso, Kamari Kennemore, Samantha Kidwell, Blake Kilgus, Aaron King, Annika Kolick, Hannah Kroll, Lance Cruz, Emma Larson, Andrew Laffery, Julia Lee, Mackenzie Lechner, Rachel Lehigh, Matt Leist, Elizabeth Lerner, Taiwan Levy Henderson, C.J. Lewis, Christopher Lubarati, Juliana Liffick, Rick Loma, Rebecca Long, Alondra Lopez Montier, Yasmin Lott, Oliver Lubaga, Jason Lubahusen, Esther Kalubi Lugano, Jasmine Mallet, Bradley Marburger, Carissa Marshall, Gina Masco, Parker Matheson, Luke Baruch Matthias, Michael Umboyo, Sean McCluskey, Melissa McPhee, Ashlyn McPherson, Kimberly Metternach, Brittany Meyer, Judith Mesa, Cassidy Miller, Michelle Miller, Kaylee Millsap, Christiana Minninger, Scott Ellen Moshinsky, Carolyn Moore, Dexter Moore, Camilla Moore, Erin Jane Morrison, Cody Moko, Jessica Mueller, Victoire Mukumai, Aishi Namuwangan, Nicole Nassestein, Laura Navarrete, Olivier Umpanda, Taylor Niebel, Lyric Newburn, Destiny Newberry, Jackie Naum, Grace Lemfo, Ketsia Mziza, Sydney O'Brien, Filiberto Ocampo Gomez, Haley Oakes, Alana Oschlager, Marie Louise Omanga, Russell Orne, Kat Owen, Aaron Owens, Juan June Paik, Jasmine Pantser, Matthew Parento, Karina Patel, Jacob Patton, Bashan Pelmore, Jen Penning, Sarah Perkinson, Najim Perry, Marcy Petersheim, Jessica Pierce, Jacob Pitzenberger, Daryl Plank, Amber Pointer, Mariah Porter, Madison Potts, Madeline Pound, Courtney Prado, Caitlin Pruding, Maya Pridewaite, Elizabeth Pulido, Andrea Purcell, Matthew Purnell,
Kelly Peach, Melina Qualls, Alyssa Lorraine Quinones, Carla Ramos, Gabriel Rapier Driver, Ariel Rowley, Amy Ray,
Evan Reeder, Annalise Rhodes, Megan Rhodes, Joshua Rivers, Graham Rodmaker, Cody Rose, Leandria Rose, Caitlin Ross, Benjamin Jeffrey Roush, Ethan Rulig, Alexandra Russo, Allison K. Rui, Ross D. Ryan, Sylvia Sanchez Torralba, Rachel Sapp, Edwina Sayon, Aaron Schluttenhofer, William Walker Shell, Lisa Schrock, Abigail Rose Sember, Christina Schaefer, Kalika Shapiro, Daniel Keith Sheff, Paige Shelton, Grace Janelle Shirley, James Shoemaker, Riley Shoemaker, Daveen Shamongo, William Walter Simmons, Courtney Singleton, Jamie R. Smith, Jordan Cruz Smith, Darian Snyder, Lane Summer, Linda Spence, Abigail Spicer, Taylor Danielle Spiker, Lydia Sprow, Emmy Stanifer, Lacey Stanley, Luke Starks, Marissa Bright Stevens, Lijardin Sterling Cobb, Aaron Stevens, Elizabeth Michelle Stillebauer, Ryan Stoger, Diana Stronovich, Kelvin Swims, Drew Switzer, Casey Sylvester, Tushar Tamhani, Ryan Tate, Alexis Taylor, Amy Taylor, Sierra Taylor, Rebecca Tenenbaum, Paxton Thompson, Peyton Thompson, Sarah Thompson, Hannah Thornton, Sandra Torado, Girish Tawari, Stephanie Tomlinson, Amanda Toole, Grayson Torres, Christina Tramey, Jory Trailer, Regina So, Brant Vonneman, Jolani Vanarath, Carlos Vasquez, Margaret Jane Vavrick, Darcy Vasquez, Rigel Versiglio, Sitlali Villa Alvarez, Brendan Villapondo, Madison Vogel, Maddie Wade, Alexandria L. Waldner, Autumn Walker, Melissa Walker Salyards, Danielle Ward, Haley Ward, Malia Warner, Lindsay R. Weiss, Rachel Wells, Kendall Westerhoff, Jasmine Whittier, Tina Hubry, Alyssa Wilcoxon, Rachel Wilhelm, Madison Wilcoxon, Shanti Williams, Joseph Wilson, Kyle Wilson, Tina Wilson, Daniel Wissop, Delaney Louise Wright, Alexandra Wright Butts, Jordan Ronke, Emily Yoder, Jonathan Young, Jeanette Zavala, Jessica Ziegler, Brooke Zimmerman.
Hello, classmates. My name is Daniel Sheff, and I'm receiving my Associate in Arts with a major in Social Work. This August, I will continue my journey at the University of Illinois, an endeavor made possible only by my time here at Parkland College. I first came to Parkland in the spring of 2001, having taken a semester off from school after graduating from Blue Ridge High School the previous May. College, at the time, seemed to be a destination. Getting any sort of degree was a goal in and of itself. I had no idea what I wanted to do other than go to college. I changed my major twice, fumbled through a few semesters, and dropped out, believing college had not been the destination for me. For the last 20 years, I have worked in both retail and restaurants because I like helping people. 2 years ago, I came to realize that I wanted to do so in a more meaningful, impactful way. I wanted to leverage my talents working with people to improve not just their day, but their everyday. However, to do this meant I had to come back and get a degree, alongside people who were not yet born or in diapers the last time I was here. I also managed to time my second freshman year with the onset of a coronavirus pandemic, words I know we all look forward to resigning to the respective dustbins of our personal histories. Classmates, our ability to adapt, to be resilient in the face of our personal adversities, has been proven by the very fact that we are about to graduate anyway. When we think on everything we have learned here, be it in a classroom or a Zoom meeting, let us always remember that fact when the next challenge comes. College, you see, is not a destination, but a stepping stone. Everything we have studied here is to make us better at being out there. Today is the end of a chapter, but there is a whole book waiting to be written, filled with the choices we make from today on. This part of the journey is over, but we carry it with us wherever we go. To quote from a favorite film of mine, "Mind what you have learned, save you it can." And now, class of 2021, please join me in becoming Parkland College graduates by turning your tassel from right to left. Thank you.
Congratulations, graduates. We're so excited. We are elated that you are walking this earth with us and that you are offering yourselves to our world. Thank you. Thank you, Parkland College, for all that you do for our community, for the students, for their families, for the Champaign County area. We appreciate your support, faculty, instructors, mentors, support staff. Thank you all. Thank you, all of you who supported the students as they studied. Some of you families, some of you friends, some of you family of choice, some of you strangers who have become kind friends. We thank you for your support of these students. And mostly thanks to our Creator God for the gifts of intellect and opportunity, kindness and curiosity. Go out, use them, spend them well so that the world may benefit. And in closing, an adaptation of Psalm 23. May the Lord God, our shepherd, guide you to green pastures and still waters and restore your soul. May the Lord God, our shepherd, walk with you through dark valleys so that you will fear no evil. May the Lord God, our shepherd, anoint you with goodness and mercy all the days of your life. And may you dwell in love and justice in God's world, God's house, forever. Amen.